Welcome to the Insomnia Project. Sit back, relax, and listen as we have a calm conversation about mundane things. Thank you for listening to our podcast. I'm your host, Marco Timpano.
I'm Amanda Barker. I take issue with mundane because it feels like there's judgment on that word.
Okay, what would you say instead of mundane?
Calm.
Calm conversations.
Calm things.
About the fill in the blank.
Calm conversations about the calm things.
Okay, you're listening to the Insomnia Project. Calm conversations about calm things.
I mean, that's what it is.
Do you pronounce
comforting things?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I listen to so many things and I consume so much media for the sake of comfort, which I think is underrated, for the record. Comfort is underrated.
Well, if you want to consume more of our media, you can go to Instagram, follow us at the Insomnia Project.
We're a comforting feed.
A lot of people have been sort of following the pickling journey we just recently went on.
You better speak to it.
So it's interesting. This is probably the third episode where we've mentioned pickling wood, not pickles like cucumbers that you pickle or radishes you pickle, things you pickle in vinegar, but rather a whitewashing of wood walls, so slats. So what do you call them?
Tongue and groove.
Tongue and groove or shiplap.
Mm-hmm.
I did a couple of walls with tongue and groove pine boards. So it looked very shiplappy, if that's a word.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so funny. Like these different design shows have changed our vernacular because I think a lot of home reno vernacular was very localized to the area. But then you watch, for example, the Gaineses out of Texas, who run their empire.
Joanna and
Chip
Gaines,
of course, for years. And now they have their whole Magnolia channel. I mean, they have a whole empire. Anyway, they're the ones who used to say shiplap. So we all started saying shiplap, even though you and I know it as tongue and groove. And then the hometown people who we
Aaron
love,
and Ben.
Napier, love them. They say sheetrock for drywall.
Yes, you can say sheetrock.
I know, but I never heard that. But we always would say drywall, but they'll say sheetrock. So, just different things that this is, if in case you haven't noticed, I watched a lot. I watch a lot of home reno shows.
So based on that and based on some general knowledge and wanting to have pickled walls, I put in these walls of pine wood boards last year. And then this year we had a rainy weekend and I said to Amanda, let's go so I can do those walls. And I had to sand them just to make sure that they were like smooth. Then I had to put a pre-wash on them so that they would be absorb the white stain I was going to put on. Then I put a white pickling stain on and I left it on for about a minute and a half, 3 minutes, and then I wiped it off with a rag. I went through so many rags, and then I put another coat on, let it dry a bit, and then wiped it off, and that was the stage that I wanted it to be, where you could still see that it was wood. You could see the wood grains, but now it had almost a scandy whiteness to it, like a milky white, and it turned out really nice.
It did. It really, really did. It was a lot of work on your part. I sat and did other things on my computer. I'm not going to lie.
But you did tell me it looked good, and that helped me a lot.
It was kind of a one-person job.
Yes, it was. It was.
In my defense.
No, because you kept asking, what help do you need? And I said, actually, just let me be.
I felt that cleaning and taking care of everything else in the surrounding area was part of the job.
Oh, it was very helpful. I'm very grateful. I don't think I would have got through it had you not done those other things.
And it does look really good. Yeah, and you worked really hard.
Well, if you want to see it, go to our Instagram. You'll see it in process.
We love a project.
Yeah.
We really do. And now you're sore, but just remember you're sore for good reason.
Yeah, my back's a little bit sore, but I'm fine. And like you said, sore for a good reason. I wanted to ask you, linens and things. So, no, I wanted to ask you about Linens and Things as a company that I don't think is in business anymore.
No, I think it went out of business.
But I wanted to ask you about linens.
There's too much linens and not enough things,
Perhaps.
apparently.
So if I could ask you about three things, it would be candles, cork, and linen.
Okay.
So that's the topics that I want to cover today.
Okay.
So let's start with linens.
Sure.
What's the linen you like, Amanda?
Well, when I think of linen, I think of like
Actual linen.
Actual linen. And you and I bought linens. I think we talked about it on the show. Maybe we didn't. But we were in Rome a year ago. And it was so hot.
So hot. And we were there
spring.
in the spring. It was unseasonably hot.
But anyhow, very, very wet, hot. And
I believe that's called humid.
Or wet hot.
Sure.
And so we, in the airport, coming back, and we wore the lightest clothes we could, but we saw people walking around in their linens, and you start to really clue into why one needs and wants linen. And we were at the airport at the Benetton, and I do think I've talked about this before.
You have, but it's all good.
And they had linen, full linen on sale, matching linen pants with shirts, and I just was like, I don't care how much this is. Let's just go for it. Let's just own a linen set that we can wear, that we can mix and match with any of our other pieces, and I don't regret it. So that's my favorite linen.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of, are you just talking fabric?
I'm talking about linens like I thought linens referred to bedwear.
I mean, maybe.
No, not bedwear. What would you call it? Bedding.
Bedding?
Yeah.
And you want to talk about bedding?
Yeah. What kind of linen do you like on the bed?
You know, we have acquired some new bedding recently.
Mm.
And it was a weird thing because it was stuff that was chosen and we didn't choose it.
Sure.
And one of the linens that we got is this really light, gauzy.
Satiny.
No, gauzy.
Is it gauzy?
The one I'm talking about.
Okay.
The one in the acorn space.
Okay.
Is honestly, it's like a thin gauze duvet. I don't know. I don't even understand how it works because it's like a fluffy duvet with this like gauze cover, like just the thinnest. Oh, it's lovely. I love it. I love the lightness of it.
Oh, okay.
But it's still a comforter.
Right.
Or a duvet.
Right. Okay. See, I picture when you refer to linens, bedding as just sheets, not what goes on top.
So everything I've said for linens, you're like, well, that's not what I'm talking
because
about. So you're just talking about sheets.
No, you might be right. My definition of linens might be incorrect.
I think linens cast a wide net. It can be a lot of things, but in terms of, so you're just talking about sheets, not even the bedding,
I think you make more sense than me.
Okay.
Because that would make sense if bedding also includes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did talk about this on the podcast before, but in case you missed it, you know that magical product that you buy once and then you try to buy it again, never to be bought again? We bought a sheet, and it was the top sheet and the fitted sheet, and the top sheet is sewn on to the base of the fitted sheet. And it is a thing of wonder because it always stays on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm very kicky in the bed. I was a kicky baby.
Yeah, you're a bit kicky when you get hot and frustrated.
When I was a baby, my mom said like the recommendation was to swaddle the baby, and she was like, that never worked for you. You hated being contained like that. And I do. I don't like being contained. I'm a 1 foot out the bed person. Like, I just need 1 foot out for temperature regulation and general freedom. So having those sheets, you'd think they wouldn't work for me, but they work great for me.
Yeah. They're pretty magical sheets. I'm sorry I haven't found any since then.
I mean, we could just sew, but it wouldn't be the same.
No, it wouldn't be the same. And it would require a depth of sewing knowledge that I don't possess.
I know. We'll get there, but not this year. We're too busy pickling. What's your favorite bedding or linens?
I don't love satin because we've had some satiny sheets.
We've had some satin.
And I know that the pillowcases...
Sounds great. Sleep in satin sheets sounds wonderful.
Yeah, but not like it's too...
Not if you have dry skin on your heels, which some of us do.
And we won't admit to who, but...
I'll admit to it being me.
And me. So I don't love that. But I do like sheets that have a high thread count.
Mm-hmm.
And so the higher the thread count, the nicer they feel.
Mm.
I do like in the winter flannel sheets.
Oh yeah,
they're kind of fun,
comforting.
Yeah, so those are the linens that I like. And I do like sometimes I like a dark linen on the bed.
Oh, I didn't know
we
this.
have a dark blue that appears every once in a while, and there's something magical about it because so many sheets can be light colors, whites and creams and whatnot. So
I like white sheets. I do.
So the dark, sometimes having that dark color is kind of fun. And yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Great.
What about cork, Amanda?
I don't know how that's on this list. Do you like a cork floor?
No, I don't love a cork floor. I want to like a cork floor.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
They're comfortable to walk on.
Yeah, and sustainable. That's why I want to like them. They're so sustainable.
And I've seen them used in places, and I think they get used in places really well.
So I used to teach in a yoga studio that had a cork floor back when I was a yoga teacher, and I really loved that floor to teach on. But I don't think I want it in my house. That's just the truth.
And yet I feel if we had cork floors, you would love them. The feel of cork floors on your feet.
You know, I think there's a cork out there for me. I just haven't seen it yet.
I think there is. I think we're thinking of a cork floor that they've advanced on, and we're still stuck in a cork floor from way back
15 years ago.
Yeah, so
it's true. I might do a little Pinterest dive on cork flooring and see if I can find anything else I like.
What about things made of corks from wine bottles? You know how sometimes
when you say things
like a clock or a trivet or
I know somebody that wouldn't like it. I think that person's name is you.
Yeah, I'm not into that kind of stuff.
I'm not into knickknacks really. And yet I seem to be surrounded by them.
We have so many knickknacks.
And yet we don't buy them. I don't understand.
We don't buy them.
You buy them a little bit.
I've stopped
a little bit.
I've stopped buying them. Now what I do, because I don't know what it is, but if I go into a knickknack store, I like to get a paddywhack. No, if I go into a knickknack store.
Which always masquerades as a funky card store, let's be honest. Yeah. You go into the funky card store and you're like, oh, they have cool stuff.
I'm the person that you want to come into your knickknack store because inevitably I will buy the thing.
Ooh, look at this
that thing I don't need. And Amanda's really good because you used to let me buy whatever I wanted in the knickknack store.
Let you?
Well, you would be like, you could get it, but I would be like, look, and I guess you'd see the joy in my eyes, and you'd be like,
I want you to have that thing and to have all the joy in buying it and in owning it.
The thing is, we had too many knickknacks.
Yeah.
And so now I just look at the knickknack in the store and I enjoy it in the store, but I don't need to bring the knickknack home. And it's funny because I was talking to my friend and boss, and her husband has a lot of knickknacks, and she would be like,
you should explain friend and boss a little more, but anyway.
She's my friend.
We work with her and for her sometimes, yeah.
But she's also a dear friend.
She's a dear friend, yeah. I would say more a colleague at this point.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I mean, yeah, she does handle the money side of things, but so technically she is our boss, but I definitely see her as a partner more.
We also do non-work related things with her, so she's a lot of fun.
She's definitely a friend.
She's fun.
She's fun, yeah.
She tells me that her husband will often get knickknacks too. So
he loves them, yeah.
And I'd be like,
and it drives her crazy.
And I would say things like, we have this thing now where it's like, do you need that thing or do you just want it?
She'll hold up something ridiculous and go, need or want.
And so now when I'm in a knickknack store and I see something that I utterly think is beyond knickknacky, I'll take a photo of it and send it to her and just write need or want.
It's amazing.
It's pretty great. She's so wonderful. I miss her. I haven't seen her in a bit.
I know. Mm-hmm. We haven't worked with her in a while. That's why. Work has been an interesting journey right now.
It is. It has been.
What was the other thing on that list? Knickknacks?
Candles.
Of course. Tell me what your thoughts are about candles.
Okay, so I've tried to make candles, and I have a whole candle making thing.
I made candles out of old candles. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
That was like a thing I always wanted to do. And then finally one day I was like, today's the day.
And
it worked. So what I did was I'll walk people through this process.
Yeah, this is great.
So I had been saving. I love a good candle. And so when they get to the bottom, and you know how they burn out, but there's still wax there. You know what I'm talking about.
The wick is gone, but the wax is still there.
The wick is gone, but the what's it? The will is gone, but the way, anyway, the will is still there. There's still candle left. There's still wax left. So what I did was I put them all kind of on a shelf, kind of collected them as I went. And I had like a year's worth of candle bottoms. And
What
I
did
was
you
like,
put? What did you put it in?
what do you mean?
Like, what did you collect it in?
Well, so they were all in their original glass.
Oh, okay. Container.
So like candles I bought at Winners or, TJ Maxx or wherever.
Sure.
Wherever I got them. Gifts. I got a lot of gifts. Those silent auction things I get where there's the local basket. There's inevitably at least one and probably more than one, like local candle from a local candle maker. Anyhow, I had them all and then I put them in the freezer.
Oh.
And that actually shrinks the wax just enough, turns out, that you can easily pop it out of the
original container
okay. Without having to like chip away at it or anything. Like once you put it in the freezer for a few hours or whatever, it'll pop right out. So I popped them all out and then I cut them up and so that there wasn't like old wick or whatever in it. And then I melted them all down and made new candles.
Like in a double boiler?
Yeah, I think I might have just melted them in a pot that I was like, I'm done with this pot after
I see,
this.
okay.
I don't remember what vessel I used to melt them.
And then you poured them into another glass container.
Yeah, I
with
just
the wick.
reused those glass containers.
So great.
Yeah, and then I had a new wick. I don't know where we had a wick from.
I had wicks because I was making candles.
You had wicks, so there we go. But they're not hard to get. You can get them anywhere.
Sure.
And I made new candles, and that was a fun time. And now I'm done. I'm not doing that again because, frankly, I don't want to save old candles. We have enough.
Sometimes you do the thing once and you feel satisfied with it. Like I made ricotta cheese once.
Right.
But the cost of the labor is
$25 in milk later when you're like, well, the price of the fresh cheese would be about $9.
I know. But I did it.
Yeah.
It involved cheesecloth, lemon. It involved it was a
now
process.
That said, it was good.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
But I don't need to do that.
Depends on
anymore.
how much money you want to spend on whole milk.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were like gifted whole milk or something, like in some of these frugal forums I'm in, people, they end up, there's a sale and milk's $1 or something. And like, should I buy it? What am I going to do with, all these gallons of milk? And then
the answer is
always make ricotta.
Make ricotta because it
or
takes
as my mother would say, ricotta.
It takes a lot of milk to make just a handful of ricotta. So, yeah, it's awesome.
Feels like a proverb of some kind. It takes a lot of milk to make a handful of ricotta. Back to candles.
Do you like a candle that has several wicks in it?
Yeah, I don't mind it. But sometimes I don't light all the wicks because if it's a strong scented candle, I'm like, that's too much candle. So I like having candle levels. So if I'm like, this is a 1 wick night for the next hour or two, I'll just light the 1 wick. Yes. Does it burn at different angles? Kind of sometimes. But usually it just warms up all the other wax and it kind of all goes down at the same time.
I see.
So I won't always fire up all the wicks.
Now, do you like a scented candle or would you prefer a candle that had no scent?
No, I love a scented candle. Even if the scent bothers me, I'll still find a way and a home for it. Maybe I burn it somewhere else. Maybe I burn it outside. So, because sometimes candles can be really intense.
Yeah, sometimes they're intense.
I actually find the essential oil ones sometimes are really intense. Like, just like, there's like now oil in the air, which people will tell you is a good thing. I don't know.
Fair.
Oil and air is...
Don't mix.
Not for me. Hurts my head.
How do you feel about oil and water?
Mixed perfectly. Isn't that the proverb?
Yeah.
It's all proverbs to me.
A lot of proverbs.
I don't think they're actually proverbs. They're like sayings or something.
I think if it was a proverb, it would come from the Bible. So I don't think...
Oh, is that what proverbs are?
Well, yeah, there's a chapter of the Bible that's called Proverbs.
But a proverb can be anything that comes from any religion, right?
Listen, I'm not the authority, nor am I going to claim to be. So I'm going to just say...
Perhaps I should just be saying anecdote versus proverb or, something.
A short prose. We don't use prose enough.
Well, because prose is long writing. Short prose is an oxymoron.
Is it?
Yeah.
I always thought prose was like
prose is not
a paragraph.
Short. Okay, sure. But I'm not talking about paragraphs. I'm talking about sentences.
Okay.
Cryptic, insightful sentences. I don't know what they should be called.
Proverbs, probably.
Sayings. Yeah, probably proverbs. Well, if I was, maybe someday people will follow me and be like, everyone, when I'm long gone, people will find this podcast and be like, Amanda, the Amandas, and then they'll then it'll be Proverbs because it was said by me.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
It'd be funny,
people
though.
following stuff that I've said in this podcast.
I think I could see a world where people take what you say and put it on a T-shirt.
A T-shirt, perhaps.
A T-shirt. That would work. But beyond that, I'm not sure. So, yeah, Nidhi asked me actually last week, what is a scent of a candle that the scent I don't like? And I told her anything that was like food related, like gingerbread or apple pie.
Yeah, I love that.
Because it just makes me hungry.
I love it.
Yeah, those are the scents you like in candles?
I do. I love like those autumny apple pie, pumpkin pie kind of I love it. Bring it all to me. I just don't like a soapy I just don't like anything too strong.
Okay.
That's just the general, because it gives me a headache.
Fair enough.
I don't want a headache. I don't want a candle that gives me a headache. I want it to soothe me and relax me, not make me take an Advil.
Sure.
So that's what I look for in a candle.
I like
Candle that doesn't make me take.
You want something soothing.
Yes.
Yes. That's why you like to take baths too. Baths, candles.
Yes. This podcast.
You got it.
Maybe.
The trifecta there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went to go see a movie tonight. That was really lovely.
Oh, so fun. Should we talk about it?
Sure. We've got just a couple minutes left.
Okay. You might have heard of it. They are not a sponsor of the show. The Devil Wears Prada 2. I loved it. I think this is my hot take, if you're still with us. I think it's the Sex and the City sequel that we never got. And I know what you're saying. Oh, but Amanda, there are so many Sex and the sequel movies, Sex and the City
sequels
and movies. Yes, but we all know that none of them really delivered. Like, let's just be real about it. Even the first movie, none of them. And the second movie was an abomination, and we all know it.
Okay.
And the just like that, whatever, don't even talk to me about it. But this delivered all the things I would want from a Sex and the City sequel.
But it was The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah. Great performances, friendship, beautiful fashion, some travel photography, the Hamptons, Milan. What else is there?
I don't know. I would like a story.
There was a story.
I guess. It wasn't for me.
No, none of it.
No, there was
In fact, there were two. Like, one of the things I said to the other person in our party who liked it, who was our friend's 11-year-old daughter, she and I really liked it. I think the first one had maybe arguably not enough story or not a ton of story. It didn't need to. That's not what it was trying to do. I think the second one had too much story.
I see.
There was like so much story.
Okay.
It was like a story to get her into the thing, and then a story to the thing, and then
Milan.
And then a story to Milan, and then another story to the problem. How's she going to solve the problem? And then the story of the solution, except it's not the solution. And then the story of the other solution. Like, too many stories.
Here's my thing. It made me laugh 2 or 3 times out loud. So that's a good sign.
And Donatella Versace's in it.
She has a cameo, and it was a funny moment as well.
It was very funny.
And Meryl Streep, you can't snark at that.
You can. That's all
Meryl
she does.
Streep.
She snarks her way through that movie.
She's great.
Beautifully.
She's great.
Of course.
Stanley Tucci's awesome.
He is.
Anne Hathaway's brilliant. What's her face there? Emily Blunt, also good.
I liked Stanley Tucci was a bit more playful in the first one.
Oh, was he?
He seems a bit more subdued in this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. He didn't really have to do much to be charming in it. So Emily Blunt I thought was great.
Yeah.
I liked her a lot in this.
There's like a lot of cameos of people. So yeah, it's something to watch.
It delivered all the things I wanted.
There's a movie that I want to see that I hear is really good, Amanda. We saw the trailer couple last time we went to the movies, and we're like, we're not seeing that movie. And now I really want to see it.
What's it called?
It's the one where the sheep tried to solve the
crime.
crime.
Yes, you want to go to the sheep movie?
I hear it's great. It's getting really good reviews.
The sheep movie?
The sheep music.
The sheep solves crime movie?
Yeah, the sheep solve the crime. So,
all right.
Listen, I think
I did not think that was the movie you were going to say.
I didn't. I saw the trailer and I was like, that's not for me.
It has good cast.
And then I was listening to people talk about it and previews of it, I guess, or whatever. It's not out yet, but people are saying it's a brilliant, brilliant movie. So
I think we should take like the kids.
I think we take the kids to it.
It's a family movie. I mean, that's what it's meant for, I think.
Listen, I think it's appropriate to talk about sheep on a sleep podcast. So
It is. And movies that are comforting.
So we'll see if we end up
and
seeing
maybe
that.
your sheep movie is my Devil Wears Prada too.
It could be. Well, okay, let's make a date to go see The Sheep Solve the Crime. I forget what it's
We
called.
don't know what it's called.
Sheep
Cineplex.
Sheep Detectives.
Paramount is not sponsoring this podcast.
How great would it be if
What is that movie called? Now
Sheep Detectives, I think it's
I'm going to
called.
look it up just for all the people that won't be able to go to sleep if they don't hear it.
Yeah, Baba Detectives.
No. Yeah, what would you think it's called? Let's take guesses.
Sheep Me Once.
I don't know what it's called. A farm mystery? That's what I'll call it.
Okay. Amanda's going to look it up, and then we're gonna say goodnight to everyone.
Let's see if The Sheep Detectives.
Didn't I say that? I think I said that.
You said Sheep Me Once.
That was the alternative title, Sheep Detectives.
I mean, we should have really come up with that. Like, it pretty much tells you what it is in the title.
I think I said it.
Whereas I said, what did I say? A farm mystery?
Something like that, yeah.
I wasn't far off.
Fair enough. Well, we hope you're far off into a lovely, relaxing sleep. And if you're not, thank you for staying with us. And we hope you're able to listen to this podcast or another episode and listen and sleep.